Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, doing another vinyl video where I am tripping through my entire collection alphabetical order because people were curious and have to set my alarm because we're only doing this 10 minutes at a time so we could do it raw. Alright, last time we left on Of Montreal's compilation, the Gladiator Nightstick Collection, and here we go. Of Montreal, Cherry Peel, band's debut album. This is actually not a favorite for a lot of people who hopped onto Of Montreal with albums like Sunlantic Twins, and you know the albums they came out with after that. However, this is really one of my favorite Of Montreal LPs. I prefer the band's older stuff when they were showcasing a stronger Beatles influence, psychedelic music influence, as well as like influence from vaudeville as well. Everything Disappears When You Come Around, hilarious song, and another song that I absolutely love off this album, Tim, I Wish You Were Born a Girl. Interesting love song right there. And I like the packaging on this LP too. It's sweet. Just like on the Gladiator Nightstick, we have a record in a plastic bag within a sleeve. I think it's a good album, and the other Of Montreal stuff I have, unfortunately, is on CD. I don't have any other Of Montreal vinyl. I used to have Sunlantic Twins on vinyl, but I remember selling that. Got a little Yoko. Got this from my buddy Brian. There's Sean. Believe that's Sean. And this is Season of Glass. These are the glasses John Lennon wore the day he was killed. A little bit of mourning on this album. But there are some good tunes on here, including Dogtown and Nobody Sees Me Like You Do. Yoko Ono, acquired taste with the vocals. And there's actually a great Yoko Ono cover that Of Montreal does on a collection of tracks. I need to look for it now because I brought it up. I brought it up like a Dumbo. I felt like smashing my face through a clear glass window off of The Bird Who Continues to Eat the Rabbit's Flower. I actually like this quite a bit. And I actually like this a lot too. This is actually kind of a record that details the crumbling of a relationship. The record is The Bedside Drama, A Petite Tragedy. There's an awesome song at the end of that album. It's Easy to Sleep When You're Dead. Really very nice song. New Order's debut LP. Actually, New Order is one of my favorite bands. Period. Hands down. Period. And this is an album that they came out with right after, of course, Joy Division had to disband and reform. And, on this record, there's still a strong influence from the, darkened kind of new wave music they were making in that group. But here, the influence is still pretty much pouring in on this record. They wouldn't move past that and start producing albums like Power, Corruption, and Lies, until a little bit later. So even though this is not one of my favorite New Order albums, it is the debut. It is great. I just prefer the other stuff and have pretty much all of it on CD. I do have all of it on CD. No other New Order vinyl, unfortunately. Phil Ochs, I Ain't Marchin' Anymore. Actually, one of my favorite folk albums of the folk revival in the 60s. Fantastic record, honestly. Phil Ochs was an amazing topical songwriter. Tons of anti-war songs on this record. Some of them, very serious and sad. Some of them funny. Some of them clever. Tracks right here. We have a song about Kennedy being killed. I believe that was the president, if I'm correct. And really, my favorite song on this entire album is Here's to the State of Mississippi, where he was basically singing about racism, segregation, and Jim Crow laws down there during that time. There's a really just nasty line on that song where he sings, if you were to drain the rivers, you'd see the bodies, like, on the riverbed. It's really a dark, twisted song, and at that time he was coming out with music. He saw himself as sort of like a musical reporter, telling people the truth through his folk songs. All right, The Pains of Being Pure at Heart, debut record. These guys are like an indie pop and rock band. I'm sure a lot of you guys know this record already. This was actually one of the first albums I reviewed. Still love it to this day. Still very catchy, very easy, sweet, saccharine, lovely record. Not the deepest and most meaningful record you'll ever run across, but it's a fun listen. However, this is a more deep and meaningful record that you will run across if you try to run across it. Pink Floyd's Animals. Look up the pig behind this album cover. There's actually a pretty funny story as to the progression of this album cover and how they tried to get that pig there and yada yada yada. But yeah, this is actually maybe my favorite Pink Floyd album. I know people love The Wall, as do I, which I have a copy of down here. I'm yet to rotate into my collection. But this may be my favorite. I just love the long, winding, progressive songs on this LP. The gatefold ain't bad either. Let's get a look at the vinyl here. And here we go, the lyrics to the songs. Les Claypool with his band did an actually pretty nice cover of that album. Not exactly, it's kind of like a slightly uncreative note for note cover, but they did it. They did it well. All right, Pixies, Doolittle. Unfortunately, the only Pixies I have on vinyl. All the other Pixies stuff I have is on CD. But if you had to have one Pixies album on vinyl, Doolittle would certainly be a contender. So many great songs on here. Let me read off some for you. Great kind of like a indie rock band. Lala Love You. That one's okay. That one's good. Let me see. Where is it? Hey, one of my favorites. Mr. Am I missing? I'm only seeing. Where are the other? Oh, the other ones are on the front. Duh. Debaser. Yeah, I love that track. And Wave of Mutilation. Man, I haven't listened to this all the way through in a while. Bossa Nova might be my favorite Pixies record. Veloria. Love that song. I love a lot of songs on that record. But Doolittle. Check out this LP. This is the 4AD kind of newer reissue, I believe. It's like one of the newer pressings of the record. It's not like an old school original. And this is actually a little hard to come by, a 12-inch single of Such Great Heights, John Tejada remix on their album version, Postal Service, DJ Downfall Persisted Beat remix with the album version of The District Sleeps Alone Tonight. I don't want to say hard to come by, but I don't know how easy you probably have to go on Discogs to get a copy of it. I actually got a free copy of this from Sub Pop years ago when I bought this record, and the initial pressing of this album was funked up. It was funked up for a lot of people. The entire D side just had tons of static on it, and so they repressed the album. And unfortunately, it's on white vinyl. It's on white opaque vinyl, which is fine. White vinyl's good. White vinyl's cool and everything. Just the issue is. I meant the C and D side of the record, but anyway. The issue is that the original pressing that got screwed up was a clear vinyl pressing and much thicker in weight as well. So a lot of people, including me, had to wait on that pressing to come through in order to actually get their record. But this album just actually went platinum. Sub Pop sold enough copies of this record for it to become platinum just recently. And such a great freaking LP. Just wonderfully catchy and just colorful, bubbly, and fun to listen to indie electronic tunes fronted by Ben Gibbard of Death Cab for Cutie, another band that I like. But you know, this album really helped kind of skyrocket his career in Death Cab for Cutie. I mean, this is really, you know, one of those records in, was this released in the early 2000s? Yeah, 2004. This is really one of the records that got released in the early to mid 2000s. That was an indie record that caught on noticeably in the mainstream, especially with Such Great Heights. That tune really had some, you know, some transcending qualities about it, you know, in terms of being able to catch some ears outside of the indie sphere. But next, Prince, let me come back. All right, that's it for this vinyl video. I love you. I hope you're well, and continue to stay awesome. Anthony Fantano, vinyl forever.